LiberalViewer presents.
So Fox News likes to stoke up anti-immigrant sentiment with heavy coverage of undocumented immigrants accused of crimes, and Fox News often misstates the law when reporting those stories, as I showed last month when Fox News anchor and lawyer Megyn Kelly misstated the law on immigration detainers covering one such story. But because the law on immigration detainers is so complicated, many viewers who aren't lawyers may not understand how badly Megyn Kelly misstated that law. This week, however, when Fox News reporter William Jeunesse repeatedly reported on the latest undocumented immigrant accused of a crime Fox News has focused on, this Fox News misstatement of the law was a lot more simple and understandable when William Jeunesse tried to blame the release of this undocumented immigrant on the Democrats who mostly make the state laws in California and the Democratic president's immigration officials in Washington, D.C. in this clip.
So why wasn't he deported?
Well, the simple answer is lawmakers and the president set up the system so he would not be, unless you're an illegal immigrant convicted of a felony or 3 serious misdemeanors, you are protected from being deported. Just 2 weeks before this, the Ferris murder, police arrested Ramirez on a felony weapons charge and drug possession, but the DEA pled that down to a misdemeanor and released him from jail because California decriminalized drug possession.
What? California decriminalized drug possession? That's totally bogus. Now, last year California did pass Prop 47 that changed the penalty for drug possession from a felony to a misdemeanor, but a misdemeanor is still a crime punishable by up to a year in jail, and though Fox News' supposedly straight news reporter William Jeunesse was trying to blame that on lawmakers, Prop 47 passed as a state ballot initiative supported by nearly 60% of California voters. Yet that didn't stop the Fox News reporter from blaming the state politicians even more explicitly, plus the obligatory blame of the Obama administration officials again, of course, this time misstating California's drug laws even more egregiously when William Jeunesse returned to report on the story later in the morning here.
This murder is not the result of a mistake or a loophole. It is a cut and dried example of what happens when state politicians and federal officials choose not to enforce immigration law. Police arrested Victor Ramirez 6 times in the last 15 months. Police knew he was here illegally but refused to help deport him. The feds knew he was in jail but chose not to deport him because Ramirez was not considered a, quote, enforcement priority. Even though just 2 weeks prior to the Ferris murder, police arrested him on his 2nd felony for concealing a weapon and possessing drugs. But the DEA pled the felony down to a misdemeanor, and police released him because California doesn't consider possessing methamphetamine a crime.
That's right. Here in California, the series Breaking Bad was so successful with the Hollywood crowd, we actually legalized crystal meth. I don't think so. I mean, marijuana hasn't even been legalized in California yet, but of course Fox News never lets a few facts get in the way of their narrative. In this case, their narrative that it's the mostly Democratic lawmakers in California and the Democratic president's immigration officials in Washington, D.C. who are responsible for any problems with immigration. A narrative I think is also dishonest because it forgets the Republican Congress that killed comprehensive immigration reform, but I want to know what you think. Is all this bluster blaming Obama administration officials and California's mostly Democratic politicians meant to divert attention away from the Republican Congress that killed comprehensive immigration reform? And regarding the worst misstatement from today, exactly what do you have to be smoking to report on national cable television that meth is legal in California?
YouTube, you decide.